Morning. We'll understand. Vous allez comprendre. J'ai pas encore lu.
You'll understand that I haven't given much attention to the court decision, but I can make initial remarks.
The ruling very carefully yet. La Cour a parlé. Faut respecter.
The court has spoken. We have to respect the court's decision, as always. It's very important to do so. I believe that what was in play in the constitutional point of view is just to what extent the court decisions are a constitutional obligation. And the judges have deliberated, and they came with a minority decision. So there is no obligation to transmit the registry to the government of Quebec. Which is certain, on the other hand, is that we, the Liberals, we would have done that. Because this is our conception of cooperation that must exist between two levels of government. The Conservative government does not respect the principle of cooperation. And this is very much too bad, and we don't agree with them.
Cooperation is a constitutional obligation between two orders of governments. The court spoke very clearly, and we need to respect the ruling and to read the dissident ruling as well. But one thing is sure, politically speaking, we Liberals who would have cooperated with the province. We think the Conservative government has a poor political understanding of what cooperation is in a good federalism.
So, what do you have to say about the 3 Quebec judges are against it? What's the impact? Well, listen, this is something that happens very often. So you can't say that there's a pattern, as you would say in good French. So in this case, we can see that there's a perspective that these judges had, and at the end of the day, you have to accept a majority judgment. And what about the Conservatives? Well, it's rather a sad victory because it's a victory that shows that this government is not interested in cooperation. It wouldn't have been very difficult to hand over the data to the Quebec government.
3 Quebec judges dissenting.
I think it's not a pattern. It happened in this case, but we cannot say that it's something that is happening very often. Most of the time, Quebec judges, when there is a split decision, Quebec judges are from both sides. In this case, they were on one side.
No, Mr. Dion, what is the consequence? No, this is a court decision. But to hand it over or not? Well, this is a political decision from the Government of Canada. What about this political decision? To me, the government of Quebec wanted this data. If it were up to me, there would have been cooperation. And to destroy them is really, from a point of view of federalist cooperation, it's really too bad. What would you say to the government of Quebec who wanted to put up a registry for long guns and now can't? What advice do you give them? I'm not in a position to give advice. I'm just saying that it's even more difficult now for it to act now without the cooperation from the Government of Canada and would have had from a Liberal government. And I'm in no position to give them advice. All I can say is that we would have fully cooperated with them, the province. You were part of a government who believed in the Long-Gun Registry. Do you still believe in the need for a registry? We believe in a need to have, to control very strictly the long guns, but we're not going to support this registry.
By the federal government, it was to hinder or harm the provinces.
Well, I would say that the court spoke, so we'll respect the decision. From a political perspective, I would agree that it's very bad federalism to not cooperate with the province in giving the data. It would not have been difficult for the Conservative government to do so, and they did not do it for ideological decisions. That the court, in a majority decision, said it's not a constitutional obligation. I would say, though, that it's a political necessity when you want to cooperate with your constitutional partner.
Il y a certains fervents indépendantistes souverainistes qui disent que la Cour suprême est déconnectée, qui voient un argument en faveur de l'indépendance du Québec. Est-ce que ça ne vient
for independence of Quebec now? Would you not be adding water or oil to the fire? Not at all. We have respect for all of them. We have respect for the judgment. The independents that you're talking about, not all, but some, of course, are ready to criticize any decision made as an argument. And once again, we can't make it a political rule in Canada. If you look at the 3 Quebec judges and their judgment, when there's a majority rather than unanimous judgment, they're usually on both sides. It's very rare to see all 3 on one side. It's not always the case. Do you see this end of the Long-Gun Registry as the end of a long saga in politics? We won't recreate it, but what we'll do is make sure that firearm control is very done. And now there's a new battle, which includes, again, both federal and government, provincial government, through the C-42, where Harper is preventing provinces from exercising their authority on the gun trafficking. And as you see, again, he's going too far, and this is something we're wondering about certain aspects of that bill, but preventing provinces to play a role to see that all weapons are safe in Canada. You don't want a registry, but you want a control. Yes, we want circulation of guns. We're working with provinces to make sure that it's done safely in Canada and not the way the Conservative government wants to do. We just want to make sure that it's the experts and the RCMP who control the firearms and not ministers like the Conservatives want. And it continues. We have a Prime Minister who has declared use your guns when the police are far away from you. So how far is this going to go? So it's bad federalism because...
Stephane Dion reacting to the Supreme Court decision. It says the federal government has the right to order the destruction of Quebec's federal gun registry data. All 3 Quebec judges disagreed. All 3 Quebec judges on the High Court disagreed with this decision. We're expecting more reaction in the moments to come.